Hi, this is Shalico, and to continue with my video series on health, wellness, and fitness, I'd like to add a Tai Chi video to those that have been, would like to study and practice Tai Chi. I've been a practitioner for 15 years, and I really enjoy practicing Tai Chi, teaching Tai Chi. I love to break it down, keep it simple. I am used to teaching one-on-one or in a group setting, so this will be a little bit different. Trying to make a video, but this video is intended to be a supplement to other videos that are already out there demonstrating the Tai Chi sequence, the short form, of course. And so just go ahead and kind of jump into this. I'd like to start off just by kind of giving us some basic movements to teach muscle memory. And please begin by preparing the mind. Get rid of your idea of perfection. Stop judging yourself for what you can or cannot do, because you can get better at it with practice. And just simply do the best that you can. And as it is a physical movement, we want to make sure that we're not causing any physical pain, no sharp pain. And so with saying that, I always love to begin first by relaxing the diaphragm, beginning to deepen the quality of your breath, slowing that breath down, in essence, slowing ourselves down. But with saying that, I'd like to also bring your awareness towards your feet. And it really depends on what you're standing on. If you're practicing inside on carpet, if you're outside maybe on the grass, I have to be on smooth concrete. But as you bring your awareness toward your feet, if you would begin to kind of shuffle your feet back and forth, shifting your weight on the heel of the foot, onto the ball of the foot, just so you can bring that awareness to the feet, you can eliminate any stress, any torquing of the ankle, which is important with this sequence. And again, with practice, with awareness, you will develop that innate ability to do so. At the same time, it kind of warms up the feet. It warms up the ankles, kind of preparing us to practice this sequence. And as well with the warming up, I always like to invite others to do some knee rotations. So if you would, bend over, place your hands on your knees, and just start to rotate one direction or the other. Again, preparing the body, warming up those lower limbs. And if you would, reverse that rotation, just to thoroughly warm up the knees, the ligaments, the tendons, the muscles. And then if you would, go ahead and stand back up. And I'd like to just begin very simply. I'd like to start off with the stance. And now the stance is a wide stance. But again, this is to your own level, whatever you're comfortable with. Because we're all uniquely different, we're individually different, and we need to embrace that, we need to honor that, and have compassion for ourselves. So if you just like to have a small open step, again, you can deepen that, and also bend at the knees. You can do it ever so slightly. You can deepen it depending on the level of difficulty you want to put yourself into. But keep in mind, it's almost as if you're standing on railroad tracks, your own set of railroad tracks. As well, to begin with the walk, it's almost as if you're gliding on ice, just finding your way to standing on those railroad tracks. And I'll back up, just kind of demonstrate that again. Again, from that wide stance, you're just kind of continuing to open it up, finding your way, gliding your way back onto those railroad tracks. And as well to add in just a little muscle memory, just to help out understanding through this sequence. If you would, come in at what's called an energy ball. The left hand is underneath. The right hand is underneath. And as you put that left hand underneath, come onto the ball of that left foot. And of course, right hand underneath, ball of that right foot. Just kind of practice that. Get the idea, get that muscle memory. So when I give a verbal cue of right hand underneath, you understand that right hand is underneath, you're on the ball of that right foot. Because it is difficult when you're facing someone, when you see you're kind of mirroring, and as I have my right hand underneath, it appears to some that I have my left hand underneath. So again, right hand underneath, left hand underneath. And as well, part of this other movement with the sequence, it'll make sense a little bit later. As you do glide on the ice, if you would, have your hand almost as if there's a string between the hand and the knee. You're just gliding on ice. And that's part of the sequence as well. So again, just kind of moving the hand with the leg, almost as if you're a puppeteer, moving that leg from the hand to the knee. There's just maybe an invisible string. Just keeping that in mind. Keeping that in mind. And I like to go and just jump into it. The best way to practice is to get into it. Now keep in mind, I love to demystify, keeping it simple. This first part of it is 3 steps, half a step, 3 steps, half a step, and 4 steps backwards. It's as simple as that. Don't overwhelm yourself with the hand movements. That will come later as you practice, as you study. But if you would come back and just come into a stance, relax the breath, relax the diaphragm, and begin by opening up, just finding your own stance, inhaling, exhaling, bending at the knee, coming into that energy ball, left hand underneath. And then begin with those first 3 steps. Shifting forward, shifting back. There's our second step. And then our third step. So now we have half a step into what's called the crane. Right wing comes across. Left wing comes across. And then we begin with that next 3 steps. Starting with that left foot. And as you come into that third step, you're half stepping once again into what's called the lute. I like to call it the little guitar. Then we got to go 4 steps backwards. So if you would point the ball, that left foot down, reach back to that right hand. As that right hand begins to come forward, you step that left foot back. Reaching that left hand back, stepping that right foot back. Reaching back with the right, stepping back with the left. Reaching back with the left, stepping back with the right. Coming back into that energy ball, left hand underneath. And again, keep that simple. 3 steps, half a step. 3 steps, half a step. 4 steps backwards. And so I'd like to continue as we come into that energy ball. We come into something called grasp the sparrow's tail. And all this is you step out towards the left. Left hand begins, right hand follows. You grasp this giant tail as you draw those hands back. You press that right wrist to that left wrist, pouring those hands somewhat over each other so you can draw back, coming into a circular motion, pressing away from you, turning back, facing forward, energy ball, right hand underneath. Stepping out to the right, right hand begins, left hand follows, grasping the tail, drawing back, pressing through the wrists, pulling those hands over, and of course, circular motion, turning back, facing forward. Now I'm going to go ahead and add that together here, all the way from the beginning. So again, always come back to that breath. Relax the breath. Slow that breath down. And then opening up, inhaling, exhaling, bending at the knees. Energy ball, left hand underneath. And starting off with those first 3 steps. Shifting forward, shifting back. Of course, there's our third step. So now we half step into the crane. Right wing, left wing, beginning with those next 3 steps, brushing towards the knee, as I somewhat demonstrated. third step. So now we half step once again, finding our way into that loop. Shifting into reverse, reaching back with that right hand, stepping back with the left, reaching back with the left, stepping back with the right, reaching back with that right, stepping back with the left, and of course, reaching back with that left, stepping back with the right, coming into that energy ball, left hand underneath, stepping out to the left, left hand begins, right hand follows, grasping the tail, drawing back, pressing through the wrists, pouring those hands over, circular motion, turning back, facing forward, just to come into that energy ball, right hand underneath, stepping out to the right, right hand begins, left hand follows, drawing back, pressing through the wrists, pouring those hands over, circular motion, coming back, facing forward. And from this point, we come into something that's called the single whip, which I like to call this ugly little hook with the hand. The left hand, pinky towards the chest, you're on the ball of that left foot, and you simply open up, and you step out, it's almost as if you're opening up a cabinet. And this next part of the sequence is called wave the hands like clouds, but keep in mind, it is book-ended. On each side of this cloud hand movement is the single whip, this ugly little hook. So again, open it up, we turn the hands into the clouds, we bring that left hand over towards the right, and as those palms pass, we step the right foot in. Those hands just gently glide over towards the left, so we can step that left foot out, gliding over to the right, of course, stepping that right foot in. And once again. And as those feet come together for the third time, that's when we know it's time for that bookend. A second single whip. Again, just opening it up. And then I'm going to start over from the very beginning, just to tie it all together. Again, hopefully supplementing other videos out there with my verbal cues. Always come back to that breath. Relax the breath. Slowing the self down. Opening up. Inhaling, exhaling. Bending at the knees. Left hand underneath. Ready for those first 3 steps. Then here's our third step. So now we just half step into that crane. The right wing, left wing. Beginning with those next 3 steps. There's our third steps. Now we half step into the lute, the little guitar, shifting into reverse, reaching back that right hand, stepping back with the left, reaching back with the left, stepping back with the right, reaching back with the right, stepping back with the left, and our fourth step, coming back into that energy ball, left hand underneath. Of course, now we step out towards the left hand beginning, right hand following, grasping the tail, drawing back, pressing through the wrists, pouring those hands over, circular motion, coming back, facing forward, right hand's underneath, right hand begins, left hand follows, grasping the tail, drawing back, pressing through the wrists, pouring those hands over, circular motion, turning back, facing forward, finding your way into that ugly little hook, opening it up, turning those hands into the clouds. As they come over towards that right side, we can step that right foot in. Then gently guide over towards the left. Of course, we're stepping that left foot out. There's our second complete step. relaxing the breath, taking our time. There's that third complete step, so now we're ready for our second single whip. Just find your way. And then what comes next does start to get more difficult at that point. But keep in mind, that was 3 steps, half a step, 3 steps, half a step, 4 steps backwards. We go to the left, we go to the right, wave the hands like clouds, which is 3 complete steps. And then we came back into that little whip. And then we half step once again, just to take that right hand up and over the left, bring the backs of the hands towards each other. Then as you step out with that left foot, you're creating a circle. You're almost stepping into that circle. Now those hands come down towards the bottom, you add in a little kick. Now this can be a little kick, low kick, high kick. Doesn't even have to be a kick. Whatever you are comfortable with. Again, no perfection. But then if you would, step out, adding what's called boxing of the ears. And you pivot on the heel, the ball of the foot, just to create another circle. Those hands come down towards the bottom. You pick that foot up. Coming back into that hook. And you're ready for what's next. But let me go ahead and demonstrate that all, tie that all in together. So again, come back, relaxing that breath. Opening it up, inhaling, exhaling, bending at the knees. Left hand underneath. First 3 steps. There's our third steps. Then we half step into the crane. Right wing, left wing. Beginning our next 3 steps. And taking your time, finding your way. Not worrying about the details. Those come later. There's our third step. So now we find our way into that loop. Shifting into reverse. Those 4 steps backwards. And then we find our way into that energy ball once again. Left hand underneath so we can step out towards the left. Left hand begins, right hand follows, drawing back, pressing those wrists, pouring those hands over, circular motion. Coming back, facing forward, just to bring that right hand underneath. Right hand begins, left hand follows, grasping that tail, drawing back. Pressing those wrists, pouring those hands over. Circular motion. Coming back, facing forward. Of course, coming to that hook. We open it up. Turn those hands into the clouds so we can walk those feet together 3 times. Breathing deeply. There's our third step. So now we find our way into that hook once again. Opening it up. Half stepping in. Hand up and over. Bring the backs of the hands towards each other. Stepping into that circle. Adding a little kick. Stepping out just a box towards those ears. Pivoting, turning around. Of course, another circle. Little kick. And then we come back into that hook once again. And then we have 2 sweeping steps. So if you would, step out with that left foot, coming down as low as comfortable for you, but finding your way into standing on that left leg. Placing the ball, that right foot down. Little hook. Another sweeping step. Finding finding our way into standing on that left leg. And then what we do here, from standing on that right leg, we step out towards the left just to gather ourselves, right hand underneath, stepping out towards the right, left hand underneath, stepping towards the left. We half step once again to come into what's called the needle to the bottom of the C, and then the big finish, what I like to call it, as we step out towards the left, pushing away from us, creating a nice arching motion with the hands. Simultaneously, you're pivoting on that left heel. You're pivoting on that left heel, you're turning around, picking that right foot up just to place that right foot down. Stepping through, adding a little punch, little circular motion here, pressing away from you. Stepping that right foot in a half a step, beginning to stand up, and bring that left foot in just to completely stand up. Now I'd like to demonstrate that last part, maybe coming at you here. So again, we just started with standing on that right leg. I think those 2 sweeping steps was, so we come stand on that right leg, stepping off that left foot, gathering ourselves, right hand underneath, stepping out towards the right, we press away, coming back, stepping over to the left, pressing away, half step, needle to the bottom of the C. And then for the big finish, we step up that left foot, we press away. Big arching motion as we pivot on that left heel, turning around, replacing that right foot back down, stepping through, adding a little punch, circular motion, coming back, facing forward, just a half step that right foot in, beginning to stand up, and of course stepping that left foot in to completely stand up. And then I like to demonstrate that once again, just to bring it all together, tie it all together. So again, always come back to relaxing that breath, breathing deeply, opening that up, inhaling, exhaling, bending at the knees, left hand underneath. Again, first 3 steps, shifting forward, shifting back, right hand underneath, shifting forward, shifting back. There's our third step. So we half step into the crane, that right hand coming across, that left hand coming across. Stepping out that left foot. There's our second complete step. Our third complete step. Then we half step into the loop, shifting into reverse for those 4 steps backwards. Coming back, facing forward, left hand underneath, so we can grasp that sparrow's tail out towards the left, left hand beginning, right hand following, pressing those wrists into each other, pulling those hands over, circular motion. First we want to do the right side as well. Right hand beginning, left hand following, grasping, drawing back, pressing through the wrists, pouring those hands over. Circular motion as we turn back, facing forward. Coming to that little hook. Opening it up. Turn those hands into those clouds. And just gently walk those feet. All while relaxing the breath. Here's our second complete step. Third complete step. So then we bring the Hands back into that hook. Opening it up. Half stepping. Bringing that right hand up and over. Back to the hands coming towards each other as we step into that circle. Stepping into that circle, adding a little kick. Stepping out, boxing of those ears, pivoting, turning around. Another circular motion. Little kick. Bring back into that hook on the ball of that left foot. Nice sweeping step. Finding your way to standing on that left leg. Placing the ball of that right foot down as you turn back facing forward. Another sweeping step. Finding your way onto that right leg. Then we step out towards the left just to gather ourselves with that right hand underneath. I'm going to step back just to keep myself in frame. So we have that right hand underneath. And we step out towards the right, just pressing away from us. And of course, we want to step out towards the left. Half stepping. It's a needle to the bottom of the C. And then for that big finish. Stepping out, pressing away, arching motion as we pivot on that left heel. Allowing us to turn around. We pick that right foot up just to place it more comfortably down so we can step through. Adding a little punch. A little circular motion. Pressing away, turning back, facing forward. Half stepping that right foot in. Beginning to stand up. Stepping that left foot in. And completely standing up. Thank you once again. I appreciate your time. And thank you for sharing this moment with me.